Alright, welcome back. So the onions are basically clear. What you're going to do now is we're going to add the moong dal to the onions. If the moong dal is not done, you just turn the, well, it's more than onions. You just turn the heat off and wait. But, I don't know, you think this is done? So this can actually cook more in with here too, so even if it's not done, no big deal. So we'll turn the heat off under that. Let's check our timer for the rice. So that's about 15 minutes. We can turn the heat off the rice. So here's the important thing. Leave the rice covered. Just let it sit for now. Chill out. So we're going to take the moong dal and, well, let's get the spoon out of here. Okay, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Can I? Oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's heavy. Here we go. It's going to splatter. Oh, it didn't really splatter yet. Oh, it's fucking bubbling. I should turn the heat down here first before you do that. But there we go. Cool. Empty. Steam. Let's turn the heat down to a simmer. Now we've got this going, and now it's time for the tomatoes. And some salt. Let's add nicer salt. Cool. And you can add some pepper here too if you want to. You can add pepper near the beginning with the other spices. And so we're going to let this simmer for a while. We want the tomatoes to break down. I needed this. It's basically done. It should be nice and soft, and when you sort of push it or like bend it, it shouldn't really tear at all. So if it's tearing, just keep kneading it until it stops tearing. But let's get a cover. Just find some cloth or something and cover this for 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes. Just hang out there. You can do plastic wrap too if you want. This is simmering. That's covering for 20 minutes, and the rice is chilling out. So we're good to go. I'll bring you back with movie magic when the roti has been sitting for 20 minutes. Hello, welcome back. Now we're going to be making the roti. So our dough has rested for 20-ish minutes. I have my camera propped up in a really weird thing, so hopefully you can see what's going on. I certainly can't. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our roti dough and we're going to pop off chunks about the size of a golf ball is what you want. So I'm going to divide the dough up. Like so. I think it probably helps if you don't tear it too much, so like if you pinch it off, that's ideal, but whatever, basically. These will be sort of small, but that's okay. You can make it whatever size you want, almost, but golf ball's good. So we got is that on the camera? Yes, it's on the camera. We got that. So with our first golf ball, and we're going to repeat the process for all of them, smush it together a bit, maybe fold it over itself a bit, get it into a ball is what you want, like this, and then we're going to roll it out. So I know this mat looks yucky. It's actually not yucky. That's just, I've had this for years. So deal with it. I have my rolling pin, which is a bottle of wine, because I'm too cheap to buy a rolling pin. It's empty, of course, but that's a good frugal tip for you. So roll it out and give it like a third of a turn, and roll it out. Give it like a third of a turn, and roll it out. If you're anal about getting sort of perfect circles, then there are ways to get perfect circles. Mostly it's just practice. I don't care whether it comes out into a perfect circle or not, so I just roll it out. If it's too sticky or wet to roll out and it's sticking to everything, you can sort of flour it to make it easier, but really that just means, oh look, it's a piece of cilantro. Really that just means your dough was too wet in the first place. So learn from your mistakes. Certainly the first few times I made roti, the dough was too wet or too dry. If it's too dry, it'll be too hard to roll out. It'll just keep springing back and you won't be able to get a nice shape. So what you're going for is something about this size and the thickness a little thinner than this, actually. Let's keep rolling. So the thickness about this, what's that? 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch? I don't know why people always try and measure thickness like that, because there's no way it's just going to line up with inches very well, but about that. So we're going to do that with all our roti, but I'm just going to show you one, because why would I do all of them? And now, let's remove this from the, check out that weird stand I had going on. Okay, you want an iron pot, or not an iron pot, an iron pan heating up on medium high. I've got this simmering on another burner. So this will be hot enough when you take some water, and a little droplet of water just instantly fizzes. I guess you can't see it. It's just, but if it instantly fizzes, that's hot enough. So, roti into the thing. What we're looking for is for it to change color. So this might be hard. I'll step out of the light. It's not changing. Let me get the flipper. Sorry. So, if you can sort of notice, it's sort of changing color here a bit. I might not have heated up my pan enough, so I might do this with another roti, just to give you the idea. And also, the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to change color. This is a little thick. We're getting a tiny bit of change up here. This is easier in person when you're not looking through a crappy camera that Tycho's holding. Now we're getting some color change up here and up here. And so what you want is the whole thing to change color. So now it's almost like this whole half has changed color. And now we're just looking for this little spot down here. And it's not a huge color change. It's just darker and less reflective, sort of. Now it's basically all changed colors. I think it's a little tough to tell on the camera, but once it's all changed color like this, we're going to flip it. And so you can tell it's all cooked on this side. There's a tiny bit of uncooked up here where it was sort of like bent, so it didn't touch. But this is what it should look like when you flip it over. If it doesn't look like this, you didn't let it cook long enough, the parts of it don't. So now bubbles are going to start to form, and if they don't, or even if they do, take like a rag or something, and just start pressing down. Be careful with your fingers, you don't want to burn them. But as you press down, and feel free to press down fairly hard, you will get pockets of air. I guess it might be tough to see, but so this is a little thick. If it's too thick, it's not going to puff up. If it's too thin, it's just going to almost immediately get crunchy and crispy. But if it's the right size, or the right thickness, we'll get some air pockets. And actually you can sort of, I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera, but oh yeah, there's a definite bubbles. And so just keep pushing up. You want more bubble, or a bigger bubble. Like, the ideal roti is just one big air pocket. So this one's too thick, but maybe we can get the next one to puff up immediately. But the idea is once the whole thing's puffed up, you'll flip it again. And so this is pretty puffy. We'll give it a bit longer, because we're giving the other side a good cooking. And then we'll flip it over. You'll get a feel for how much this is. So this is way too done, actually. But now when you push down, it should almost instantly puff up completely. And there you go. Well, it's not super puffed up, but roti. And actually we need to run. This thing. And you can take it off the heat and onto a cooling thing. So what you want is some brown spots over here, and maybe a bit of brown over here is what you're going for. So let's make another one. Good staple. Rolling. Keep that rolling. Being able to make flatbread, I think, is a really good skill. You should be able to make both types of bread. I guess there's more than two. But the two main types of bread are flatbread and leavened bread. Leavened bread you can make in loaves, or you can make leavened flat bread. That's what pita bread is. You wouldn't think pita's leavened, but it is. That's what makes it taste so good. Maybe I'll make another episode of Tycho, Cooking with Tycho, where we make some actual bread. But flatbread is nice because it's really fast to whip up. These are roti, so these are with whole wheat and so on. But you know, you can learn to make tortillas, corn tortillas. Flour tortillas are easier. I like roti because they're so simple. Just one ingredient, well, 3: salt, flour, water. So hopefully this is thin enough. Sometimes I like to stretch it out by hand. Obviously this won't get you a perfect circle. If you had one already, it'll ruin it. But I like to stretch it out by hand to get the right thickness. So, oh, was any of that on the camera? I think I was stretching it out by hand up here. Down here, stretch it out by hand. Just to the right thickness. Okay, and you want even thickness, that should go without saying, but evenly thick all around. So, into the thing. Let's get it down on this side. Wait for the color change. Let's turn the heat down a bit. To like 2.5-ish. If you have one of these stoves, which you don't, I find 2, 2.5, 2 3/4 works pretty well. Smoking a bit. Totally normal. I think it's changed color. I wasn't really watching, but notice that didn't take us long because this is warmed up. So we flip it over. We've actually got a few dark spots, which means we didn't give it long enough. It's a dark spot here, but that's basically fine. Time to start pressing with this. And almost immediately this is puffing up. It's maybe tough to tell. Well, you can't really get a good angle, but this is puffing up pretty much most of the thing. Whoops. And there's a nice big bubble. That's probably good. Once you got some bubbles, even if it's not popping up fully, you can just flip it. And again, I cooked this too long because I'm an idiot. Maybe it's too hot. But press down. And it's not puffing up in the middle because I cooked it too long, so it's hard and crunchy there. But aside from that, we got a nice puffed up roti. So we're good with that. And we'll go here, and I'll make the rest of the roti, do some movie magic, then the rice will be done, that'll be done, rotis will be done, and we'll be ready to serve. Alright, welcome back. I finished the rest of the roti, and so the soup is done, the dal is done, the rice is done, and we're good to go. So before we serve, there's 2 important things. One, obviously taste your dal. If it needs more salt or whatever, now's the time to add it. And number 2, this is a super versatile recipe. So we added a few spices to this. There's all sorts of other things you could add. So just off the top of my head, we could add some coriander seeds when we're making it. We could add some, that's not right, I don't know what that, oh, that's sattar. We could add some sesame. Where is the camera? We could add some sesame seeds. When we were making it, we could add some fenugreek seeds while we were making it. We could add some chili powder. We could add some, let's get ready to show this to the camera. Where's the label? There is no label. We could add some hing, some asafoetida, whatever. You can sub that in for the onions and or the garlic if you want. Bloom it in oil. We could add some, where is it? We could add some amchur powder. You could add some grated ginger into there. You could even add some tamarind paste or tamarind pulp if you want some zing in it. There's all sorts of stuff you can add. And also you can add whatever vegetables you want. So often I'll put spinach in this or carrots and potatoes in this. Basically any vegetables, some eggplant goes good. And any vegetables you have, you can just add it in. When you're finished cooking the onions, basically, you can add the vegetables in, cook them a little bit, and then add the moong dal. And you can make this with all sorts of lentils, too. So it doesn't have to be moong dal. It can be tur dal or other dals. So it's versatile. But let's serve. So here's our rice. Beautiful. We want to take out the cardamom pods and the cloves. The cardamom will have plumped up nicely. You can eat it if you want. It's super strong, obviously, but it tastes kind of good. The cloves are even stronger, but and you don't want to swallow them or whatever, but they're fun to chew on, sort of as breath freshener. But here's our gorgeous basmati rice. So let's one-handed take a scoop of this, and over here, and a scoop of this. And over here, we're just going to do really small portions because it's a cooking show. I should have made it in a clump. Let's clump it up. Nobody's watching it, I'm using my hands. If your hands are clean, you can do whatever you want with them. A lot of it will make them unclean, though, depending on whatever it is you want to do. So that's some rice, there's some roti. Let's get some soup. Some dal. I should call it dal. That's the name. Nice and steamy. Let's make it look pretty-ish. You can make this look a lot prettier if you look online. People who do like food blogs and whatever make it look gorgeous. And then finally you can finish up with some cilantro, known as coriander, in some parts of the world. So if you don't like coriander, then don't. But I love it, so I'm going to put a shit ton on the top. And let's go with a spoon. And that's my cutting board. And then there's a spoon. Put a spoon in it, and you're done. You can tear off pieces of the roti, eat this with it, eat it as a side, whatever. It's a delicious, beautiful meal, and I have a lot left to eat over the week. It keeps really nice in the fridge. You can even freeze individual portions, bring it out when you want. There's some rice. I hope you enjoyed Cooking with Tycho, episode 2, because this is what my whole YouTube channel is going to be from now on, starting April 1st, 2014, which is when this is recorded. Bye now.